Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Welcome back to IELTS with Kashif. Today's topic is something we all understand, something we all enjoy, and something that can easily appear in IELTS speaking.
And that topic is food.
Exactly. But today we are not just going to say, I like biryani or I like pizza. We are going to learn how to talk about food in a natural, confident, and IELTS-friendly way.
Because in IELTS speaking, the examiner may ask questions like, what kind of food do you like? Do you prefer eating at home or eating out? Can you cook? Or describe a meal you really enjoyed.
And here is the important point. Your answer does not need to be complicated. It just needs to be clear, natural, and a little detailed.
So today, through our conversation, you will learn useful vocabulary, speaking expressions, polite restaurant phrases, and simple ways to extend your IELTS answers.
Let's begin with a very common IELTS question. What kind of food do you enjoy eating?
Honestly, I enjoy traditional food the most. I like meals that feel homemade, warm, and full of flavor. For example, I really enjoy chicken karahi, biryani, fresh salad, and raita.
That is a much better answer than simply saying, I like chicken. You added feeling, examples, and description.
Exactly. In IELTS, students should try to extend their answers naturally. Instead of saying, I like pizza, they can say, I'm quite fond of pizza, especially when it has a thin crust, extra cheese, and fresh vegetables on top.
Excellent. Students, notice this phrase, I'm quite fond of. It means I really like something, but it sounds more mature and natural.
Another useful phrase is, I have a soft spot for. For example, I have a soft spot for homemade desserts because they remind me of family gatherings.
That sentence has emotion. And in IELTS speaking, emotion makes your answer sound more real and memorable. Now, let's talk about food we do not like. Is there any food you are not a big fan of?
Yes, I'm not a big fan of extremely oily food. I can eat it sometimes, but if something is too greasy, I feel uncomfortable afterwards.
Very nice. You did not say, I hate oily food. You said, I'm not a big fan of. That sounds polite and natural.
Yes, and another useful phrase is, it's not really my cup of tea. For example, extremely spicy food is not really my cup of tea because I can't handle too much heat.
Great phrase. Students, remember this expression. It's not really my cup of tea. It means you do not really like something.
And this is important because IELTS is not only about vocabulary, it is also about sounding natural and balanced.
Do you prefer eating at home or eating out?
Most of the time, I prefer eating at home because homemade food is usually healthier, cleaner, and more budget-friendly. But once in a while, I enjoy eating out with friends because it gives me a break from my daily routine.
That is a strong IELTS-style answer. You gave your opinion, then your reason, and then a small example.
Yes, a good IELTS answer usually has 3 parts: opinion, reason, and example.
For example, students can say, I prefer eating at home because it is healthier and more affordable. However, I do enjoy going to restaurants on special occasions, especially when I want to try something different.
Excellent. And when talking about restaurants, students can use words like atmosphere, service, menu, portion size, taste, and presentation.
For example, the atmosphere was calm, the service was quick, and the food was beautifully presented. Now let's do a short restaurant role play. Imagine you are at a cafe and I am the waiter. Perfect, let's begin. Good evening, welcome to our cafe. Would you like to see the menu? Yes, please. Could I have the menu? Of course. Are you ready to order or would you like a few minutes? I think I'm ready. I'd like grilled chicken with rice, please. And could I have it with less spice? Certainly. Would you like anything to drink? Yes, I'll have fresh lime water, please. Great choice. Anything else? No, that's all for now. Thank you. Excellent. Students, did you notice the polite phrases? Could I have, I'd like, and could I have it with less spice? These phrases are much better than saying, give me this, or I want food. In English, polite language matters.
Now let's learn how to describe taste. If the food is very good, what can we say?
We can say, it's delicious. It's full of flavor. It tastes amazing. Or, the food was mouth-watering.
Mouth-watering is a very useful word. It means the food looks or smells so good that you want to eat it immediately.
And if the food is not good, we can say, it was too salty, it was a bit bland, it was overcooked, or it didn't have much flavor.
Students, remember the word bland. Bland means the food has very little taste. For example, the soup was quite bland, so I added some salt and pepper.
These words are very useful for IELTS because they help you describe your experience clearly instead of repeating simple words like good or bad.
Can food come in IELTS Speaking Part 2?
Yes, absolutely. You may get a cue card like, describe a meal you enjoyed. You should say where you had it, who you were with, what you ate, and why you enjoyed it.
Can you give a short sample answer?
Sure. One meal I really enjoyed was a family dinner at home last month. My mother cooked chicken biryani, salad, and raita. The food was fresh, spicy, and full of flavor. What made the meal special was not just the taste, but the family atmosphere. Everyone was sitting together, talking, laughing, and sharing stories. I enjoyed it because it reminded me that food is not only about eating, it is also about connection, culture, and memories.
That answer is simple but very effective. It has vocabulary, emotion, and a clear story.
Exactly. Students, do not memorize fake answers. Build real answers with real feelings. That is how your speaking sounds natural.
Now let's discuss some common mistakes students make when talking about food.
Mistake number 1. Do not say, I have hunger. Say, I am hungry.
Mistake number 2. Do not say, this food is very spice. Say, this food is very spicy.
Mistake number 3. Do not say, I like eating outside every day. A better sentence is, I like eating out sometimes.
Mistake number 4. Do not give one-word answers in IELTS. If the examiner asks, do you like cooking? Do not just say yes.
A better answer is, yes, I do. I find cooking relaxing, especially when I have enough time to try new recipes.
That answer is short but complete. It gives an opinion and a reason. So today, we learned how to talk about food in a natural IELTS style. We learned phrases like, I'm quite fond of, I'm not a big fan of, it's not my cup of tea, full of flavor, mouth-watering, and I'd like.
And remember, food is not just a topic. It is connected with family, culture, travel, routine, health, and memories.
That is why food is a powerful topic for IELTS speaking. Even a simple answer can become strong if you add feelings, examples, and useful vocabulary.
Now your task is simple. In the comments, write one sentence about your favorite food using this structure. I'm quite fond of blank because blank.
For example, I'm quite fond of biryani because it is spicy, flavorful, and reminds me of family gatherings.
And if you want more IELTS speaking practice, subscribe to IELTS with Kashif.
Keep learning, keep speaking, and do not be afraid of mistakes.
Because every fluent speaker was once a beginner.
See you in the next lesson.